Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Full Time Devils. I'm Adam Mckola outside Old Trafford. Just finished Fancam's Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 2. And what the hell can I say about that? That hasn't already been said. It was so frustrating today by Manchester United. And for the second time in the space of 7 days, we have been outplayed by a newly promoted side. Let that sink in. And regardless of what players are on the pitch, you know, who's injured, who's out, who's not available, we should not be getting outplayed, outfought, outpassed by a newly promoted team. Dean Smith, very good coach. Aston Villa got some very good players. You look at their midfield, Jack Grealish, John McGinn, they start for Manchester United. They start for me, it's that simple. You look at Sheffield United, Chris Wilder, great coach. Probably none of their players start for Man United, but the way those coaches have their teams playing football is very effective. It's getting the best out of their players. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doing that at this moment in time? I don't think so. And for me, he has to change things. I feel there's, for example, with Andreas Pereira, bad performances are being rewarded with more starts. That's not right. We shouldn't be doing that, and I think it's quite clear. I've been a big fan of Andreas Pereira when he was a younger player coming through our academy. He was a fantastic baller. I think at 23 level, during his loan moves, he's stagnated. He hasn't improved. Today, he had the commitment, he had the effort, he had the enthusiasm, he was pressing, he was trying to do things. It's just not good enough. And for me, he shouldn't be rewarded with more starts in the team. Now, yes, you can look to the fact that we haven't got a midfield. We miss Scott McTominay. We miss Paul Pogba. I said this at the start of the season. One injury to one of our midfielders, we are fucked. One injury to one of our strikers, we are done. And it's happened a couple of times this season, and we're seeing it now. Without Scott McTominay, without Paul Pogba, we've got no midfield. We've got nothing. But also, the rest of the performance wasn't good enough today. And I don't know whether that's because of the lack of a midfield, it's having a knock-on effect on the performances of the front men. Because Anthony Martial today, you all know how much I love that guy. You all know how much of a good player I think he is. But what he was doing at the start of the season, in terms of his movement, in terms of his pressing, in terms of his moving into the lines, it was very effective from Martial. And he stopped doing that. He's stopped moving. Now, I don't know whether that's because every time he makes a run, it's not picked out. Pereira don't find him, Fred don't find him. And eventually he's just thought, I can't be bothered making these runs anymore. Or whether he's just stopped making those runs. Daniel James doesn't stop running. Doesn't stop running. Great work ethic, great everything. But the delivery, not good enough. Doesn't get his head up, pick a pass. Today he played one very good pass across the box. Guess what? No one was inside a 6-yard area to tuck it in. Marcus Rashford, again today, just before Aston Villa scored to make it 1-0, an absolute sitter on the back post. He mishits the ball, comes off his standing foot, goes wide. Marcus, you are in great form. You are scoring goals. You scored a goal today. But you've got to concentrate. That is the difference between the very best world-class elite players and someone like Marcus Rashford. You've got to concentrate. Get your head over the ball, bring it down, score. And I feel like we're letting ourselves down at times just by a lack of concentration, a lack of, you know, it's just not good enough. And then Villa scored, and instead of, right, let's go again, because we were playing okay at that point, we went into our shells and it got worse. All the passes seemed rushed. Everything seemed like everyone was thinking, no one was cohesive. There was nothing there, and ultimately, the manager has to be judged for that, because it's down to your tactics, your off-the-ball movement. What is the message you're giving to this team? What is the message you're giving to the players? And we're not seeing any of that at the moment. One thing we were promised under Ole was pace, pressure, commitment. Even if we were going to concede goals, we were going to score goals, and we are doing that at the moment, but it's almost by luck. How did we score today? A little bit of luck, a ricochet off Tom Heaton. The second goal, a great header by Victor Lindelof, who, by the way, was poor throughout the game today. But apart from that, we're not creating any chance. I can't remember a chance. I'm saying Martial had a bad game today. I can't remember one chance that he should have scored. There was a time where he scooped it right over, and I'm thinking, how are you trying to chip a keeper from 4 yards out? But apart from that, I can't remember one chance, and you can see why he's getting frustrated. That's not an excuse for his performance, but you can see why he's getting frustrated. And Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, players that we signed and brought in and are actually very good players, we've dragged them down to our level. Maguire today didn't look like the £85 million centre-half we signed. Aaron Wan-Bissaka looks shaky and uncertain about himself. And we're bringing these lads down to our level, and we were almost hoping Maguire, Wan-Bissaka would drag us through, but they're not. And Wan-Bissaka's a young lad, you know what I mean? He needs time to develop as himself, but it's not good enough at the moment. We haven't got enough leaders on the park, and I feel sorry for Ollie in terms of you haven't got a midfield there, but you're going to be left accountable for your results. You're going to be left accountable for the performances, and the performances and the results aren't good enough, regardless of injuries. We've got Jose and Pep coming up this week, big games against very tactically astute managers who are going to be looking at United thinking, there's goals there, because we've conceded 5 against 2 newly promoted teams. And that's the thing, no one expected us to win the league. No one expected us to even probably, you know, I thought we'd get top 4, optimistic side, but no one expected it. We're not expecting to win every game, but we are expecting to see base levels of commitment, a base level of performance, a base level of, you know, creating chances and trying to score goals. And we're not seeing any of that at the moment. And Ollie is going to be coming under pressure for it. And we know what this board is like. But like I said, I feared this would happen. I feared this would happen at the start of the season. We didn't back him in the summer. We haven't backed any manager properly, but we didn't back Ollie properly in the summer. We let Herrera, Lukaku go, didn't replace them. We had those injuries, bad results, and now we're staring at possibly having to sack one of our heroes, one of the club legends in the summer, because quite frankly, he's out of his depth and the board haven't helped him at all. So again, it comes up to those guys at the top. Their poor decision making, poor knee-jerk reactions, poor investment into the club for nigh on 14 years. 14 years, it comes down to them. So yes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can be held accountable for tactics, his team management, his improving the team, all of that stuff, substitutions, and yes, he should be. Yes, he should be held accountable for the fact that we drew twice from winning positions against newly promoted teams. And yes, he should be accountable for the results. But the overall issues at Manchester United that every single manager has faced are accountable to those above him, above the manager, and that has to be also clear as well. Nevertheless, it's another frustrating day at Old Trafford. We've got fan cams coming your way. Make sure you're keeping your eye out for them. Liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. And for now, we're out. It's fucking freezing.